News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A pipe bomb scare in Missoula. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Wednesday, August the 20th, 2014. And right this very minute, looking outside my patented exclusive weather window, we've had some overnight rain. We are sitting at 51 degrees in Missoula right now. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Temperite Service. Have any plumbing or heating needs? Call Team Blue at 728-1111. Both Missoula Police and Sheriff's Department personnel were called out to a home in the 900 block of Spartan Drive about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, responding to the threat of an explosive device inside the home. Sergeant Jim Clowder describes what officers found inside the garage.
Officers responded, saw what looked suspicious enough that it could be an explosive device. They called the bomb team in, got a search warrant, and are in the process now of removing that and destroying it.
Just a few moments later, a loud boom emanated from the area where the bomb disposal unit was located. Clowder described what happened.
That was the bomb disposal teams. They have a device that shoots high-pressure water and disrupts explosive devices. Okay.
Now, during the incident, several homes surrounding the residence where what appeared to be a pipe bomb was found were evacuated. Spartan Drive was closed down for several hours. Clowder said the two individuals in the home were being interviewed by detectives at the police station. Clowder says if the device was indeed a pipe bomb, the suspects could be charged with possession of an explosive device, which is a felony. No names have yet been released, and no one was injured during that incident. Two suspects in the death of a man at a southwestern Montana campground have been returned to Beaverhead County to face charges. County Attorney Jed Fitch says 29-year-old Christopher Lee Stiles was charged by warrant with deliberate homicide, while 49-year-old Sandra Lee Cantrell was charged with accountability to deliberate homicide in the death of Mark Robert Mullen of Butte. Both also were charged in justice court yesterday with stealing Mullen's motorhome and tampering with evidence. They have not entered pleas. Bail was set at $500,000 each. Stiles and Cantrell were arrested in Missoula August 12th, as we reported. Early Tuesday morning, an unidentified 22-year-old man nearly lost his foot while he was trespassing in the Montana Rail Link train yard. MRL spokeswoman Linda Frost has these details.
At approximately 2:30, Montana Rail Link had a westbound grain train parked in the Missoula yard. That train, in pulling out of the yard, apparently there was a trespasser that was in the process of trying to get through the train. And at that time, apparently became injured when the train pulled forward.
Frost says the injured individual was not noticed by the crew driving the grain train and that another crew located the man about 15 minutes later and called for medical assistance. She emphasized the fact that the man did not belong in the train yard.
It was dark and the train did pull forward. The crew on that westbound train was not aware of this individual. Montana Rail Link is adamant about the safety of the public and adamant about keeping people away from our operations. We take trespassing very seriously.
The incident is still under investigation. A 23-year-old Billings man who pleaded no contest to stabbing two sisters to death in January of 2012 has been sentenced to 100 years in prison. District Judge Mary Jane McCullough Knisely sentenced Andrew Scott Denning Tuesday, calling the violence in the deaths of Rose and Daisy Edwards, quote, ritualistic and, quote, again, systematic, end quote. The Billings Gazette reports Denning apologized, saying he wasn't worthy of forgiveness or understanding from the Edwards family. Denning pleaded no contest on May 6 to 2 counts of deliberate homicide. Denning has been jailed with bail set at $1 million since his 2012 arrest. A Houston man identified as 59-year-old Jeffrey Porter was killed Monday evening in a one-vehicle accident on I-90 near Alberton, as we had reported yesterday. Captain Rob Taylor, the on-duty coroner for the Missoula County Sheriff's Office, describes what happened.
59-year-old Houston man had been driving eastbound on I-90 at about mile marker 80 when his vehicle left the eastbound lanes, crossed into the median and through the median to the westbound lane. He was ejected from the vehicle and sustained blunt force injuries, which proved to be fatal at the scene.
Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Luke Burson says speed was definitely a factor in the crash of the 2000 Toyota Camry and that the use of prescription drugs is also under investigation. Republican Congressman Steve Daines of Montana says the Democrats' recent switch in Senate candidates will not change how he campaigns for the Senate seat. Daines addressed the State Representative Amanda Curtis's candidacy yesterday while touring the Ash Grove cement plant in Montana City. Of course, he did the same thing when he was here in Missoula. He says Montana Democrats' selection of Curtis on Saturday after Senator John Walsh dropped out of the race because of plagiarism has not affected what he's doing. He says he has a long to-do list that he's working on while continuing to serve in the U.S. House. He's competing against Curtis and Libertarian Roger Roots in the November 4th election for Walsh's Senate seat. Missoula Fire Department normally has 2 ladder trucks to serve the city, but is down to just 1 after a ladder truck from 1990 was taken out of service last week because of a structural flaw. Missoula City Council member Adam Hertz says a replacement's on the way after the council approved an emergency purchase.
There was the potential that we could be without a ladder truck if we didn't make an emergency purchase. The city fire department was lucky enough to find a ladder truck actually coming out of production, and it hadn't been sold yet, which is rare because generally they're pre-ordered and take about a year to finish. And so we were lucky enough to find one and be able to commit to purchase it.
The ladder truck will cost the city nearly $1 million, a cost that Hertz says should have been planned for.
We live in a city where we have priorities like police and fire that get unfunded or underfunded, and at the same time we have a mayor and city council that is willing to gamble in excess of $1 million on condemning mountain water and paying for various luxuries when we have issues that we know of, like a fire truck that's 24 years old. And so I do think the city council has been playing a dangerous game.
The funding for the ladder truck will come out of reserves in the short term and is likely to be bonded. News Talk Times 610.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Look for a mix of sun and clouds today with a pop-up shower or thunderstorm by the afternoon. Temperatures will top out in the upper 70s to low 80s. Rain likely Thursday and Friday with our highs dropping back into the 60s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.